Welcome back to BBC News. Well, in the last few minutes, the UN's top court, the International Court of Justice, has delivered an advisory opinion outlining that Israel's settlement of Palestinian territories are in breach of international law. Now, it had been examining the issue since the beginning of last year. I think we can take a quick listen now to that opinion being given live.
The court considers it important to stress, as it did in its Wall advisory opinion, I quote, "the urgent necessity for the United Nations as a whole to redouble its efforts to bring the Israeli-Palestinian conflict,"
well, that is
which continues
the
to pose
court giving its opinion live there in The Hague. I want to leave that momentarily and just bring in our security correspondent, Frank Gardner, into this. And Frank, just explain to viewers at home what exactly the court has been looking into, because important to underline that this has been going on since before the October 7th attacks by Hamas and the start of the Gaza war.
That's right. So this is the International Court of Justice, not the International Criminal Court. It's issuing an advisory. It's not legally binding, but it will be seen as a basis for international law. And it's examining the legality of Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories since 1967, particularly focusing on the West Bank and East Jerusalem and settlements therein. And it's a pretty damning verdict on Israel's actions and policies there. I'm just going to, because this is incredibly legalese, and as you can imagine, there was a big preamble as to what the framework of their work has been. This is delivered by the spokesperson for 15 judges. They've been examining this since 2022. They took evidence throughout February from around 50 countries. And their conclusions in brief are that Israel's policies and practices are in breach of international law. The continued presence of Israel in the occupied territories is illegal, and they call on Israel to cease all new settlement activity. It particularly focuses on the settlements and the treatment of Palestinians in those territories. Now, Israel, I think, they're unlikely to accept this. In the past, that they have not accepted the legality of rulings when it comes to their occupation of Palestinian territories. But I think it's a pretty hostile verdict for Israel, this.
OK, Frank, well, we have to leave it there, I'm afraid. But Frank Gardner, thanks for that, giving that context on that ICJ ruling. Thank you. Now, a Russian court has